everyone, I am Carla Alvarado. So in today's video, I'll be discussing the types of housing and its example. So when we say housing, this refers to the structure or the outlook of your home. And housing came from the root word house. So what is house? House refers to the building that functions as a home. This can be arranged in a simple dwelling like rudimentary nut in nomadic tribes and improvised shack in shantytown to complex fixed structure, bricks, concrete, or other materials. So in simple terms, house refers to the building for human habitation or a shelter for human. This is the place where the family live or a certain person live. House or shelter is considered to be another basic needs of the human. First is food, and the second one is a house. We need a house. We need a home. This is considered to be our protection from any external harm, and we need a home for us to rest, for us to eat, and everything that you want. As long as you have your own house or you live in a home where your family also staying. Everybody lives somewhere, where either they live in a house, in an apartment, or a condo. Depends on your life, or depends on what or housing that you want to live. We do always need a home or a house for us to live, for us to go through. Because if we don't have a house for us to go home, then we are homeless. As what you see in the street, there are many street people. They are homeless because they don't have a home, your room. There are many types of houses, and each one is characterized by special character and have different functions, materials, and styles, and have made in according to a specific design. Some prefer to use or to live in a detached house because they want to pursue privacy, luxury, free modification, and no management fees. However, others choose apartment to block economic safety, not responsible for any exterior maintenance repairs. Different unit sizes for different family sizes. So the size of the apartment that you'll be living depends upon on the size of your family or the numbers of people living in that certain place. General types of housing. Single family detached home is a standalone house, also called a single detached dwelling. Detached residence or detached house is a freestanding residential building. It is sometimes referred to as a single family home as opposed to a multi-family residential dwelling. It is also a type of building with an independent entrance, generally equipped with a garden and intended as a single dwelling unit. It is a home that is not attached to another home in any ways. It sites on its own property and it's completely separate from other houses. A dwelling which can be any number of stories that is detached from any other living units and is occupied by only one family or individual only. Duplexes home refers to two-story condo unit, often the result of joining two separate units and renovating them into one larger unit or built that way from the start. A dwelling that contains two separate living areas, which can be any number of stories, which is detached from any other living units and is occupied by two families or individuals separately. Triplexes home is a house that provides living quarters for three families, each with a separate entrance. usually has 3 stories with the one apartment on each floor. It is a unit that combined into one building, with the individual units sharing 1 or 2 common walls. Each unit of a triple has its own kitchen, bathroom, living room, separate doors to the outside, and its own address or unit number. It is also similar to duplex or fourplex, but instead of the property being a 2-unit or 4-unit structure, a triplex is a 3-unit multifamily structure with one owner. Fourplex's home is a housing style that is typically symmetrical in shape with 2 matching units in both the top and the bottom floors. The units are regularly reached by a central entry and or stairway that serves the units, but some structures have individual doors and or stairways. Fourplexes tend to look similar to large single-family house when a pitched roof is utilized, unlike a small multi-family structure with a flat roof is used. Fourplexes should be designed to complement the scale of surrounding buildings, and parking should generally be placed on the side or near the site to ensure that several cars are not located in front of the structure. Small apartment is a housing type that contains a number of apartments or condominium located in a building that is typically 2 or 3 stories in height. These apartments or condominiums are primarily accessed by a single entrance and a set of stairways or hallways. However, beyond these shared characteristics, the building types vary a great deal. Some structures appear to be similar to homes in their design, while others are distinctly apartment buildings. Some small apartments include gardens areas near the entrance to provide a natural space for the enjoyment of residents. It has 4 to 16 dwelling units per building. Small apartments should be located in areas that are deemed to be appropriate for higher density residential housing. The buildings should be designed to ensure privacy for residents and neighbors and best accommodate the parking necessary. Additionally, a limited amount of private or individualized space for residents outside of the apartment make balconies, shared gardens, and or items a valuable added amenity for residents. Low-rise apartment has 12 or more units per building up to 4 floors, often clustered in a large lot. Low-rise apartments sometimes offer more privacy and negotiability of rent and utilities than high-rise apartments. Although they may have fewer amenities and less flexibility with lesses, it is easier to put fires out in low-rise buildings. Mid-rise apartment is a housing style that contains a number of apartments or a condominium that are located in a building that is typically 5 to 10 stories in height. These apartments are primarily accessed by a single entrance, lobby, elevator, and set of hallways. Mid-rises should be located in areas that are deemed to be appropriate for higher density residential housing such as downtowns or higher density corridors of Thorson's County. The housing type is primarily suited for singles and couples with no children, and proximity to urban amenities that allow for interaction with others is essential. Parking is typically provided inside of the structure because the provision of even a minimal amount of surface parking for each unit would require a large amount of land. This structure parking causes the development cost for the housing type to be more expensive than the similar lower-rise structure. Mid-rise has an approximate 60 to 240 units per building. High-rise building is a tall building as opposed to a low-rise building, as defined differently in terms of height depending on the jurisdiction. It is used as a residential, office building, or other functions including hotel, retail, or with multiple purposes combined. Residential high-rise buildings are also known in some varieties of English, such as British English as tower blocks, and may be referred to as MDUs, standing for multi-dwelling unit. A very tall high-rise building is referred to as skyscraper. It has 60 to 300 units per building and composed of 10 floors and above. Stock townhouse is a housing type that looks like a townhouse, but has an upper and lower units rather than a single unit that covers the first and the second floors. Units are typically reached by a common entrance and stairway that provide access to 4 dwelling units, 2 units on the top of the structure and 2 units on the bottom, when a building is 2 stories in height.